okay, when you get different opinions that are expressed online, say like feminists and social justice warriors, then you have like men's rights and you have red pillars and all of that kind of thing. There's this kind of attitude of like that you have to be on one side or the other, like it's one extreme or the other. Okay, when there's like certain issues when I kind of think taking you can take a middle ground, you know, like what I mean is say like my videos before, like stating like why I don't identify as a feminist. Okay, like even though I agree with equal rights for women, well, for everybody, but I don't, you know, because certain things that get taken too far with feminism, and you know, certain things that are really silly, like during COVID when feminists are saying like, oh, it affects women worse, when no, it affects everybody, but it was actually killing more men, so it was a bit stupid to say something like that. Or you know, that school in Australia where they get all the boys to stand up and apologise to the girls for sexual assault and stuff like that. They're sort of like picking on men, blaming men for everything, and just and like some of the just like silliness of complaining about man spreading and stuff like that. I mean, I've done plenty of like videos where I've talked about why I don't identify as a feminist, right? You know, and I've done videos talking about you know, certain things like with domestic violence, like in abuse and stuff like that, that it's not fair the way that some people kind of think that it's always a man the abuser and a woman the victim, when it can work both ways. Okay, so I've said stuff like that. I talk about that on my channel, right? But then when you get like guys who like they have their extreme and radical views, like if you disagree with those, like in the say like red pill community, guys that actually do want to take women's rights away or do think that women are inferior and stuff like that, if you disagree with those, you then get accused of being a feminist or of hating men or something like that, right? And say like when I did a video about Andrew Tate, okay, I get a comment saying that it's a feminist video, right? When like all I'd said is like, because Andrew Tate had said that women can't make any money, that women are poor, you know, it's only men that can make a lot of money. So I pointed out, I used J.K. Rowling as an example of a woman who's really, really rich. And I mean, that's only one example, but obviously there's plenty of women who can make money. And I think, like, why is that considered wrong to stick up for a woman? Like, but why is sticking up for a woman wrong? Like, why is it, like, you can either only stick up for men or you can only stick up for women? Like, you can't do both. Like, I don't get it, right? I was thinking, like, sometimes women who are anti-feminist, right, they'll very often say stuff like, they'll say, like, when the radical feminist said all men are potential rapists or toxic masculinity and stuff like that, they say straight away they think of like their dad or their husband or their brother or their granddad or, you know, male friends, you know, men that are important to them in their life. And they're like, well, no, that's a disgusting thing to say. Like, men aren't bad, men aren't rapists. That's, you know, a disgusting thing to say, and that's what they automatically think. And that's what I automatically think as well. Yeah, when people, you know, radical feminists try to sort of say that masculinity is bad and men are all bad people, I automatically think of men that are, like, important to me in my life, okay? That's why I disagree with it, okay? But back when, years ago, I used to listen to MGTOW content, okay, and I used to listen to them say, women are incapable of love, and women are only after the man's resources, and women are all parasiting off of the man, and all this about, like, how everything to do with female nature is bad, okay, and, like, straight away, I would then think of my mum, my auntie, myself, even, or women that I know, okay, and think, like, no, that is not true. Like, the majority of women are not bad people who don't have, like, feelings, okay? But when you get, like, any women who, like, if they're anti-feminist or the ones that stick up for men, if they dare, like, stick up for women, or, call out, like, the extremist, misogynists, like red pillars or MRAs, they straight away, like, jump down their throat and go on about how, like, oh, you know, they're not supportive of men, they don't really care about men. Okay, and I kind of think, like, do you not realise, okay, that they are coming at it from a point of view not of not caring about men, but they're not willing to push their own gender under the bus as well in order to support the radicals, okay? It is possible to stick up for both men and women, okay? It is possible to say, no, it's not right to paint a picture that masculinity is bad, that men are all like abusing their wives and that men treat women all bad and all that. But then it's also not accurate to say the exact same thing about women, okay? And if women like want to defend their dads, their brothers, their husbands against radical feminist propaganda, there is also nothing wrong with wanting to defend your mum, your sister, your auntie, yourself, okay, from the woman-hating drivel, okay, that gets spewed out, okay? But I will also point out as well, like, not only is it like, when you hear like radical feminists say, like, you know, paint a picture of men bad, like I said, you automatically think of your dad, your brother, you know, men who are important to you in your life. But also, when I listen to like Fresh and Fit, he'll say things like, all men only value women for sex and they don't care like whether you're interesting, intelligent, nice. They just want you to be sexy, friendly and cooperative. They don't care about your personality, and all men would cheat if they had the opportunity. The ones that say they don't, they're just lying. We're the guys that are always telling women the truth. All the other guys that pretend to be decent, they're lying. You know, when guys come out with their idiotic crap, again, like, I think of my dad, my brother, okay? People that are actually nice, decent gentlemen, okay? My granddads, okay? Nice, decent gentlemen. Majority of guys that I know, that I work with, like, are not degenerate sleazes, okay? And that's why I think, like, a lot of these red pillars are terrible role models for young men, okay? And I know that, you know, being a woman, like, people will say, like, oh, it's none of your business, you're not in a position to tell young men, what's a good role model and all that. I was like, okay, well, you don't have to listen to me, that's just my opinion. But, like, isn't it, like, just, like, typical, though, that the guy that, like, the red pill community goes absolutely crazy for, oh, he's now been, locked in prison because he's accused of, like, sex trafficking and rape and stuff like that. It's like, you couldn't expect anything less, could you, from the red pill community? Like, if they pick a role model for young men, it's not like he's gonna end up, like, in the news being famous because he saved somebody's life, or he's invented something amazing, or he's done something wonderful in the world. Or it's like, no, it's gonna be for abusing women, isn't it? It's gonna be. It's like, okay, and it's like, innocent until proven guilty. But at the very least, we know that guy has been preying on vulnerable women and, like, manipulating them to do this sex work, and we know that because, like, he admits that, okay.
To inspire a girl to make money, so the way you're going to do that is you have to have some element of influence, and you're going to have that element of influence through her respecting you, looking up to you, and her believing she needs you. And this is extremely important, because at the beginning she will need you, but then she won't need you. But you have to keep that fallacy, keep that dream alive. I knew some street pimps, I've known them for a long time. Straight street pimping is a completely, in fact, no, it's not a completely different game. The psychological aspect is the same. She can't do this without you, to ensure that she doesn't do it without you. Teamwork, energy, we're gonna do this together. Yeah, you go on the camera, don't worry, I'll talk to the guys, I'm gonna talk to them, we're a team, happy, positive teamwork. There's no negative energy in this business. Tax is also another important element of controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. So you don't need to pay tax to anybody. Tell your girl that you're paying the tax. Because girls are lazy and girls are stupid.
I said get me out of jail. I'll go see a lawyer to talk about the law. I've committed multiple felonies. How much does it cost to make this all go away?
So I end up with all these chicks just stuck in their house, sitting there, bored, completely in love with me. And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed out. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. You're not, no restaurants.
So yeah, I kind of think, like, in my opinion, like, the red pill community, they don't do men a favour. They don't, okay? And we'll get accused of, like, hating men or something, you know, for, you know, not liking people that demonise us women. Oh, okay. When actually it's like, I can sympathise with men and I can sympathise with the issues that men have, and I can talk about it on my YouTube channel, but also if I want to stick up for my own gender, okay, seen as like the red pill and the misogynist attitudes are just growing, it's like, you know, I can stick up for my own gender as well. That's not like, it doesn't have to be one extreme or the other. It's like either you're on here like supporting all the extreme misogynists of the red pill, or if you're not, you're like some radical feminist. It's like, it's not one extreme or the other. Like, you can like people, you know, it's possible to like people of both genders, alright? And I also think it's very sad, like, when you get issues where, like, people think that you have to, like, take the side of, like, one gender or the other, when you're talking about, something like, allegations of, like, rape or sexual abuse or something like that, right? Like, I think, like, it should be okay to say that, I sympathise with men who get, like, falsely, accused of stuff, because, like, it would be really horrible and traumatic to be accused of doing something bad that you didn't do, specifically if we're talking about something as bad as rape or sexual abuse, right? But I also sympathise with people that have been badly abused or raped and stuff like that, okay? But for some reason, it's like people think that you have to take a side. Like, you know, some feminists, they'll think that if you mention that you understand why men, like, worry about, like, having a false allegation made against them or being falsely accused of something, they then seem to think that you're being a misogynist and that you're accusing all women of being liars and saying that you don't believe any woman who says that she's been abused before, right?
When discussions or conversations of rape come about, which is obviously a very difficult topic for people to talk about, the first thing that these people will say is, what about girls who lie? And one thing I just want to say, ladies and gents, if you're seeing someone and this conversation comes up and the first thing they say is, what about girls or people who lie, run in the other direction. Huge red flag, zoom, go, run, just go, get out of there.
But then you get the other extreme, which will be the guys that actually are saying never believe a woman, and that all women who say that they've been abused are liars, and that making false allegations is just a feminine trait and it's only women that would do something like that. Okay, like, you will get some guys online who say stuff like, how can we ever trust women again after all the false allegations of the Me Too movement? And I kind of think, like, well, they're not all going to be false allegations, are they? Like, I mean, obviously, like, rape and sexual assault, you know, they do happen in the real world, okay? Like, there are people that have been a victim of that, okay, you know. But also I could say, like, if you're gonna just say, like, oh well, you know, you can't believe a woman if she hasn't, like, women online if they, like, haven't proved it, it's like, well, then can I say the same for, like, men in the manosphere then, when they talk about how they've had abusive ex-partners or their wife divorced them for no reason and took them to the cleaners? Like, should I be saying then, like, well, we don't know if they're telling the truth, we haven't heard the wife's side of the story, they could be lying? I mean, should I be saying that? Because, like, guys who, like, don't believe, who don't agree with hashtag believe all women seem to be all in favour of hashtag believe all men, okay? And I kind of think, like, sometimes it just seems, like, really childish to me when, like, say the radicals of feminism and the radicals of, like, red pill and all that are just, like, getting into this argument over which gender's the good gender and which gender's the bad gender. And I kind of think, like, you know, obviously, like, well, most people are good people, alright, but people who do evil or bad things, or people who are abusers, or people who lie as well and make false allegations, like, you are going to get some of those, like, some men who do it and some women who do it, okay? It just seems really stupid, like, arguing over which gender's good and which gender's bad, when, like, obviously it's not always to do with the gender, it's It's just the way some people are, okay? And like you get some guys who, if they've had bad experiences with women, they don't trust women anymore. But if a woman has had bad experiences with men and doesn't trust men anymore, they go and tell her that she's being misandric and it's all her fault for choosing the wrong man and all that kind of stuff. And I think, like, how do you not see that, like, the women who don't trust men because they've had bad experiences are just the same as you not trusting a woman because you've had bad experiences, you know? And then the same, you know, the opposite way round. You get some women who, like, had bad experiences with men, they don't trust men, but they don't understand why a man who's had bad experiences with women doesn't trust women. And I think, like, it just seems so petty and so childish to argue over who is the good gender and who is the bad gender, okay? But anyway, that's all I've got to say on that for now. Thank you for listening.